In this Zero Trust demo, I'm going to show you how Cisco Secure Workload performs segmentation at scale and leveraging vulnerability management information at the host level here. So this demo will cover 2 of the 4 Zero Trust requirements, which is enforce trust-based access and continuously verify trust. So in this diagram, you can see that here Cisco Secure Workload protecting a bunch of servers across a multi-cloud data center. Now, what's unique here is that we're going to leverage vulnerability information being reported by the agent about those servers and the applications, and then prioritizing them and figuring out where we want to apply the right policy. And the whole point here is that we want to deny access or reduce the attack surface by enforcing application and workload protection at scale based on vulnerabilities being reported here. And the vulnerabilities being reported is based on vulnerability scores, or CVSS, or Common Vulnerability Scoring System, vendor data, as well as other security research data as well here. Let me go ahead and get into the demo. Here in the Cisco Secure Workload dashboard, we can see there's a overall score of my entire environment, and then I can also drill deeper into specific sections. So I'm monitoring my Jerry lab here, and I can see I have a score of 85. Now my vulnerability score of 85 is based on secure workload agents providing the application information reporting in here. So the score is based on the CVSS score, as I mentioned earlier, and it's being updated every 24 hours as an example here. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and click out of this and look at an investigation deeper into the vulnerabilities being reported about the application from each host, we can see that there's multiple categories, and these one here on the left is easy remote exploits, or harder to do or remote exploits, and these are all numbers associated with this. So you typically want to start from left to right here. So let's go and take a look at the remotely exploits that are low complexity and is easy to do. And based on these reported vulnerabilities, we see that there really isn't any that's been exploited in a while yet. So let's go and look at the next category. The next category is the remote exploitable and higher complexity, is a little harder to do, and these are the reported vulnerabilities. And if we look at the right, there's actually one being reported in the wild here, just a little while ago here. So let's go ahead and drill into that one specifically, that we want to address that one first. And this is specific to CVE 2022-30190 here. And I can look into that NIST page, that the link provided, and I can read all about this specific CVE. And it's about a Microsoft Windows support diagnostic tool, remote code execution vulnerability. And it provides links on information on how to remediate and do further investigation about that. So, all right, so with that, let's go ahead and focus our efforts on patching or blocking access to that, or isolating that specific host or hosts. Let's go into our policy page, and you see here that I'm going to go ahead and create a rule related to that vulnerability. So I'm going to go ahead and create a blocking deny rule for my environment, resource in my environment, going to that CVE score, that servers with that CVE vulnerability. And then the ports and protocols, I am just going to go ahead and put in a few ports and protocols. And now you can see that specific to that CVE, there are 4 servers being reported with that vulnerability. Okay. Now I haven't enforced anything yet, so we're just going to go ahead and check from one of my hosts to see if I can ping those any one of those 4 servers, and I can see I can ping 10.22.110. So that's one of the vulnerable servers. And same thing, I can just browse to it, and you can see that I can browse to it to the web servers in that machine. So that's great. So the connectivity is open right now. So let's go ahead and enforce blocking because it's got a vulnerability for that CVE. And I'm just going to go through the enforce page, click yes to verify settings a few times, and then just put in some notes about why am I blocking access to that vulnerable server. Well, it's because of that CVE 2022-30190 for the Microsoft tool there. All right, so now the policy has been enforced. Now let's go back to that testing again here to see if the segmentation of scale is working based on vulnerability. Well, let's go ahead and ping again that server from the same test client, and now you can see pings are not going through anymore. The host policy is now blocking access from other resources to that vulnerable server. And same thing with the web services. I can try to browse to that vulnerable server, and it's now also being blocked because the host policy is blocking it. So you can see here, we can very quickly block policy or block access to vulnerable servers based on vulnerability information. Thanks for watching.